little chippies, my taters, my besties. I have a roundup for you. You know it's Saturday, so last night I watched Love After Lockup. And let me tell you what happened in 10 minutes or less. Okay, so it started out with Courtney and Will. Last week they were driving to go get married and all this stuff with Mom in the backseat, who did not approve at all. But it seems to have taken a little bit of a different turn. Mom's trying to be happy. She went dress shopping with Courtney and all that, and she was there during their wedding. And you could tell she didn't like it, but she was trying to put on a brave face. And she was just happy for her daughter, and she says that she thinks she's more mature now and she thinks she'll be all right. We shall see. Anyway, so they get married, and Will has to take Courtney back to the halfway house. And so they didn't even get to consummate the marriage, what they were so all about. Anyway, so he drops her off and he tells her, hey, I'll call you when I get back, make sure everything's good, let you know I'm home. He gets back and he calls, and she sounds like she's out of it. Like, she couldn't even put a sentence together all the way without stuttering or like having to stop, and it was really weird. She sounded way off to me, but he picked her up the next day and she was like, what? Why didn't you ask me then? And it was kind of a catch-20 because she's like, why didn't you ask me and check on me? You're supposed to be there for me. And he's like, okay, well, I didn't want to sound accusatory. And so he didn't. So he's like, I'll just let it go. In the morning, I'll find out if everything's okay. No, she's like, well, you are being accusatory. Like, which one is it? Which one is it? Can I check on you, or is that accusing you? Like, anyway, that couple is just so weird to me. Anyway, that's all that really happened with those two. Still pretty boring with those two. The next one was Kiana and Demadrick and Joella. They had a very short segment. Kiana and Demadrick were going on a date, and they went and they decorated cakes. They were so cute. While they were there, we talked about Joella and the plans between that. And then he also came on the side and told us he plans to propose with a ring. And a little bit later, you see him finish their cakes off, and he's putting his in the box, and the lady's helping him, and he sticks a ring on it. Like, how sweet is that? Oh my gosh. It would have been such a great moment if we didn't know he was still messing with Joella. What's wrong with these men? Like, seriously. Anyway, burn my biscuits, but that's all that happened with them. She opened it, and she was like, oh my gosh, yes. And then it just ended with them. So the next one was Alexis, Julius, and Ashley. We can pretty much scratch Ashley out because she's gone. So it comes up with Alexis and Julius in the bed and having fun and, doing their thing. And then, just like clockwork, Julius jumps up and says, I need to go to the studio. So she's trying to tell him, hey, I need help with the bills. You got to get a job. And, I can't do this all on my own. Everything's piling up. And he's just like laughing at her. He tells us on the side, I don't want to get a job. Like, it's too easy to make easy money. And once you make easy money, you don't want to do nothing else. So his solution, the same as everyone else that comes on the show, I'm going to be a rapper. Yeah. Lynx wants to be a rapper too. Yeah. That's so annoying. Like, do you just sound really good in gel or something, and you come out thinking, oh, that's what I want to do? Why? Because you're the best one in gel? Like, what? Anyway, so when he leaves, she calls a friend, and she's like, I still feel nauseous, and blah, blah, blah. The friend comes running over with a pregnancy test, and she's like, have you told Julius? She's like, no, I haven't said anything. She takes the test, 2 of them, and they're positive. She's pregnant, which we already knew because we've seen the announcements and all that. But anyway, so she sees that they're positive, and she tries calling Julius because she's kind of excited, kind of nervous, and he is not answering. He's going straight to voicemail. So her and the friend decide, hey, he's not going to answer. I'm just going to pull up on him. Yeah, if you got to do that to your man, he's probably not your man. But I digress on that. Anyway, so her and her friend come pulling up to where he's at, and it ended right after they came out, and you hear Alexa saying, who's all these girls? And Julius has this stupid look on his face, like, oh, like I might have got caught. But he's ready to play himself out of it. He's going to get out of it. She's not going to go anywhere. She's pregnant. She's going to put up with all his BS, I can already tell you. Anyway, that's where it ended up on them. And then Savannah and Bradley. Ugh, Savannah. So annoying. So if you remember last time, they got in an argument. Bradley took off with her car, her mom's car, whatever. So she's like throwing the stolen car thing around. And Bradley's like, yeah. Listen, Savannah, accusing your man of stealing your car and telling him you're going to get him in trouble for it is probably not the way to get him back. I mean, his family already hates you, so yeah, I'd probably keep your problems to yourself until it's like something big. But she can't handle it because he's getting annoyed with her, and she's got to be in control and got to be so freaking annoying for sure. Anyway, so Bradley comes back with the car, and he's like, come on, Savannah, I have to go see the advocate. So she finally gets in the car, and he drives her, and they talk about the whole stolen car thing, and he's just getting so aggravated. But he needed her to go to him with this advocate lady, so he was pushing it behind him. So he gets there, and the lady's like, let's talk. And he lays out his stuff about how the COs, were just being bad and abusing him. Not so much with fists or anything, but, picking on him in other ways. He said that, like, they would make him do checks, like, way more, like, where you have to get naked, and, yeah, they check you. I don't remember what that's called, but anyway, he says that they picked on him a lot doing stuff like that. So, anyway, he lays it all out to this lady, and she's like, yeah, you really don't have a case. I'll look and see what they did, but really, it's not going anywhere. You can see it all over Bradley's face. He's like, oh no, that lawsuit and all that money I was gonna get. Yeah, he ain't getting nothing. So anyway, so they leave, and he decides to get mad and argue with Savannah again. They argued all the way home, and he's like, just drop me off. I'm not going home with you. So she drops him off at his dad's. And shortly after, Alyssa calls Savannah. Hey, girl, what's up? And she's like, yeah, he lives with his dad now. That's not what you do. So anyway, so annoying. I'm sure things will get better. Even if they don't. Spent too much time together as it is. Anyway, Joey and Michael were next. And poor Joey, like, he loves this man and he wants to be with Michael. Michael doesn't even care about him in the least bit. They went to Joey's family's for a barbecue. And, of course, his family was a little bit, nosy and wanting to know exactly where Joey was and what he was, how he felt in his recovery and if he was going to stay to it and stuff. And Joey's just like, I don't know. I know all my good friends and I'm not giving to them. And, like, he has no clue. He's not ever going to change until he wants to change. And he does not want to change. Anyway, so you see him get up, and he's like, I got to the bathroom. The brother shows him to the bathroom. The next thing you know, you see him sneaking outside on the other side of the car to call his friend and make plans for that night. Okay, I'll see you tonight. Yeah. Really love Joey, don't you? I wish Joey would just run. Run for the hills. Get rid of him while you can, but Joey is not going anywhere. He is not going anywhere. Anyway, the last group was Brooklyn and Brian. It comes, and Brian's still on the ankle monitor, so he's still kind of grumpy about that. And here comes Brooklyn saying, hey, dude, you need to get a job. You got 2 weeks to figure it out. You got 2 weeks to get a job. That's when he's off the ankle monitor. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, whatever. He doesn't even really want to hear it either. He's kind of like, Julius, yeah, I don't want to do that. Anyway, so Brian calls his friend, cousin, whatever he is, and decides he wants to go out with him. And he's like, I'm going to go get some nice clothes for the job interview, blah, blah, blah. Brooklyn's like, hey, can you invite your friend in? I want to meet him. And Brian's like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. So what does Brooklyn do? She waits till Brian goes out and gets in the truck, and she comes banging on the guy's window, like driver's side window. Hey, I'm Brooklyn, and who are you? I just wanted to meet you. And you can see Brian just getting ticked off. So she's like, he rolls down the window, and she's like, hi, I'm Brooklyn, and here's the rules. I wanted to set the rules in place for you. No girls, no ba-ba, ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba, ba-ba. They're both in there going, okay, this biznitch. Brian's still all, I want to have a baby and I'm ready to get married, blah, blah, blah. And the friend's like, nah, you ain't seen what's out there. You've been stuck in prison for a while. I'm taking you to the strip club. And that's where that ended. Like, did Brooklyn think that it was going to be any better? Like, she just laid down the laws with him. So, of course, they're going to go get in trouble. Like, that's what makes the show, right? Anyway, that's, 9 minutes, 17 seconds. We're right on it. And that was your roundup for Love After Lockup on the May 9th episode. And if you like what I do, please like, share, and follow. And I will bring this to you every week. Thanks, guys.